The room is small, cluttered, and dimly lit by a single flickering bulb. Papers are scattered across the floor, unpaid bills, a termination letter, and a crumpled photo of better days. The faint hum of traffic outside feels distant, almost mocking. On the couch sits Aarav, his shoulders hunched, face buried in his hands. The silence is heavy, the kind that follows after every hope has been exhausted. On the table, his phone lights up again, another message from a friend he's been avoiding. "You'll figure it out, man." He stares at it blankly before letting the phone slip from his hand. The sound of it hitting the floor echoes louder than it should. His eyes wander to the wall, a medal from his past achievement still hangs there, dusty and forgotten. He stands, walks toward it, and traces a finger across the engraved words, "Champion." The word stings now. He takes a deep breath and looks around. The once lively apartment now feels like a cage. Empty bottles on the counter, takeout boxes piling up. The reflection in the dark window startles him, he hardly recognizes himself. This isn't the person who once dreamed big, who used to wake up with fire in his eyes. A tear escapes, but he doesn't wipe it away. It's not just sadness, it's realization. He's hit rock bottom, and there's nowhere lower to go. For a long moment, he just stands there, breathing, broken but still standing. Then, quietly, almost subconsciously, he whispers to himself, "This can't be it." That single line, soft, trembling, but defiant, becomes the spark. The fall is complete, but for the first time, the climb begins. Morning light filters through half-drawn curtains, washing the room in a pale, golden glow. The chaos from the night before remains, papers still scattered, the metal still hanging on the wall, but the light gives everything a faint sense of calm. Aarav stirs awake on the couch, eyes heavy but restless. He sits up slowly, his back aching from another sleepless night. Across the room, a mirror catches his attention. He walks toward it, barefoot on the cold floor, and pauses. The reflection staring back feels unfamiliar. Tired eyes, unshaven face, a man burdened by disappointment. He studies himself for a long moment, as if searching for the person he used to be. He opens a drawer and pulls out an old photograph, him smiling, holding the same medal that now collects dust on the wall. Standing beside him in the picture is his mentor, his arm around Aarav's shoulder, both beaming with pride. A voice echoes in his memory, "The moment you stop believing in yourself, that's when you truly lose." Aarav closes his eyes, the words hitting harder than ever. His fingers tighten around the photo. He takes a deep breath, exhales shakily, and sets it down next to the mirror. For a moment, he just stands there, torn between shame and longing. Then, he lifts his gaze, really looks at himself. This time, the reflection doesn't seem as hopeless. The same eyes that once looked defeated now hold a faint glimmer, a spark of something forgotten, determination. He straightens his posture, wipes his face, and mutters, almost as a vow, "No more running." The morning light brightens just a little, as if the world itself has acknowledged his decision. The first step toward change has been taken. The alarm buzzes before sunrise. For a moment, Aarav hesitates, that familiar temptation to stay in bed, to sink back into comfort. But this time, he doesn't. He swings his legs over the edge, ties his worn-out sneakers, and steps outside into the cold morning air. His breath forms clouds as he begins to jog, slow at first, his body protesting every movement. Days blur into a rhythm of exhaustion and effort. Early mornings turn into late nights. He trains, studies, practices, whatever his path demands, with a quiet intensity. The camera catches snippets of this new life. Aarav dripping with sweat at the gym, scribbling notes under a dim lamp, pushing through the ache in his muscles, falling, failing, and still rising. There are moments of doubt, when his body gives up, when memories of failure whisper, "You'll never make it." In those moments, he closes his eyes, takes a breath, and remembers that mirror, that promise, no more running. Gradually, small victories begin to appear. He lifts more than before, runs farther, learns faster. His reflection now shows effort instead of emptiness. His hands, once idle, are now calloused with purpose. The same medal he once despised sits on the table again, not as a reminder of the past, but as motivation for the future. One night, exhausted but proud, he looks at his progress board, covered with notes, goals, and crossed-out failures. A tired smile spreads across his face. He knows he's still far from where he wants to be, but for the first time in a long time, he's moving forward. The grind hasn't broken him, it's rebuilding him. Every drop of sweat becomes a brick in the foundation of someone unstoppable. The day has come. The air feels heavier than usual, filled with anticipation and quiet tension. Aarav stands before the mirror once again, now dressed with purpose. The exhaustion in his face has transformed into focus. The months of grinding, failing, and rebuilding have led to this single moment, the test. Whether it's a championship, a job interview, or a big presentation, the stakes are the same. Everything he's worked for is on the line. He grabs his bag, takes one last deep breath, and steps out the door. The world outside feels different now, brighter, louder, alive. As he enters the arena, office, or stage, flashes of memory play in his mind. The night he broke down, the mornings he almost quit, the echo of his mentor's words. The moment you stop believing in yourself, that's when you truly lose. His hands tremble slightly, but his eyes remain steady. The challenge begins. At first, things don't go perfectly, a stumble, a mistake, a flicker of doubt. The crowd watches, waiting for him to falter. But Aarav doesn't. He steadies his breath, finds his rhythm, and pushes harder. Each move, each word, each step carries the weight of every struggle he's endured. Then comes the turning point, a flawless strike, a confident answer, a perfect delivery. The tide shifts, the room falls silent, then erupts in applause, recognition, or quiet respect. For the first time, Aarav isn't fighting to prove something to others, he's proving it to himself. As the moment ends, he stands tall, heart pounding but calm. Win or lose, he's no longer the man who once fell apart. He's the man who refused to stay down, the man who faced the test and rose. The sun rises slowly, painting the sky in shades of gold and fire, a perfect reflection of Aarav's journey. The world feels still for a moment, as if holding its breath. He stands at the edge of a rooftop, overlooking the city below, wind brushing against his face. The weight that once pressed on his shoulders is gone. In its place is calm, the kind that comes after a storm. His phone buzzes, messages of congratulations, respect, and admiration flood in. But he doesn't check them immediately. He's not doing this for validation anymore. He closes his eyes, breathing deeply, feeling the warmth of the morning sun. It's the same city, the same life, but he's no longer the same man. Flashbacks blend with the present, him falling apart in that dark room, staring at the mirror, pushing through endless nights of effort, facing his fears head-on. Each image flickers like a reel of memories, leading to this moment of stillness and strength. He picks up the old medal from his pocket, now polished and gleaming. He smiles, not because of what it represents, but because of what it taught him. Rock bottom wasn't the end, it was the foundation he rebuilt himself upon. Aarav walks forward with quiet confidence. Maybe the crowd cheers his name, maybe he simply walks alone through the morning streets. Either way, his stride is steady, his eyes full of fire. He whispers softly, almost to himself, "I'm just getting started." The camera pulls back, wide shot of him walking into the rising sun, the world opening before him. From rock bottom to unstoppable, not a story of victory alone, but of transformation, resilience, and rebirth.